Before the lights go up, before the carols reach their familiar chorus, before the wrapping paper starts to tear, I want you to pause. Just for a moment. Breathe. Feel the weight you've been carrying all year, the disappointments, the detours, the quiet regrets you never quite named. Now hear this clearly. This Christmas is not a deadline, it's not a judgment, it's an invitation. This Christmas, God is giving you a second chance. Not a flashy one, not the kind that arrives with fireworks and applause, a quiet chance. A human one, the kind that slips into your life while you're doing the dishes or driving home late or staring at a ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering how things got so complicated. A second chance to begin again, not as someone else, but as yourself. Christmas has a way of making time feel heavier. The year shows up all at once. Every promise you made in January stands beside you in December asking what happened. The goals you didn't reach, the relationships that frayed, the words you wish you could take back. For some people, Christmas is joy wrapped in music. For others, it's memory wrapped in silence. And here's the truth we don't say out loud enough. Many of us arrive at Christmas tired. Spiritually tired, emotionally worn thin. We smile for photos while our hearts whisper, I thought I'd be further by now. That whisper doesn't disqualify you, it qualifies you, because the story of Christmas was never about perfect people having perfect years. It was about a weary world being offered hope. Not because the world earned it, but because love insists on showing up anyway. A second chance doesn't mean erasing the past, it means redeeming it. It means taking what hurt you, what humbled you, what slowed you down, and letting it shape you into someone more honest, more compassionate, more awake. Think about the moments when your life changed. Not with a shout, but with a choice. A small one. A phone call you finally made. An apology you swallowed your pride to offer. A habit you decided to break after failing at it more times than you could count. Most second chances don't arrive dramatically. They arrive quietly, disguised as responsibility. There's a story many people know. A child born in a place no one was looking. To parents without status, surrounded not by comfort but by necessity. No spotlight, no certainty, just obedience and courage in the middle of uncertainty. That's the shape of second chances. They rarely look like success at first, they look like trust. Real life works the same way. Consider the man who lost his job at 45, mortgage due, kids watching, pride bruised. He called it failure until unemployment forced him to spend time with his family, time he never had. He learned how to listen. He found the courage to pivot, to learn a new skill, to start again. Years later, he didn't say losing the job was good, he said it was necessary. A second chance didn't save him from pain. It gave the pain purpose. Or the woman who carried guilt for a decade after a relationship ended badly. Christmas magnified it every year. Empty chairs, old traditions. One winter, she chose something different. She volunteered at a shelter on Christmas morning, served food, learned names, heard stories. The ache didn't disappear, but it softened. Service turned grief into connection. That was her second chance, not to rewrite history, but to write meaning into the present. We often think God's second chances come after we fix ourselves. Get cleaner, get stronger, get worthy. But that's not how grace works. Grace meets you where you are, not where you pretend to be. It doesn't wait for the house to be in order. It steps into the mess and says, let's begin here. There's data that quietly supports what faith has said for centuries. Studies on forgiveness show measurable drops in stress, anxiety, and blood pressure when people release resentment. Neuroscience tells us the brain is plastic, that new habits, new pathways, new identities can be formed even later in life. Change is not just possible, it's built into us. So when we talk about a second chance, we're not talking about fantasy, we're talking about design. But here's the part that matters most. A second chance asks something of you. It asks for honesty. It asks for courage. It asks you to stop performing and start participating in your own life. Participation might look like this: admitting you're lonely and reaching out instead of isolating. It might look like setting a boundary with someone you love, because love without truth becomes resentment. It might look like forgiving someone who never apologized, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Christmas gives us a symbol that's easy to miss: light arriving in darkness, not after darkness leaves. You don't wait for the night to end before you light a candle. You light it because the night is there. That's your cue. If this year humbled you, good. Humility is fertile ground. If it disappointed you, listen closely. Disappointment often points to what matters most. If it broke you open, let the opening become a doorway, not a wound you keep pressing. Some of you need a second chance with yourselves. You've been harsher on you than anyone else ever was. You call it accountability, but it's punishment. There's a difference. Accountability says, I can do better. Punishment says, I am the problem. Christmas answers that with clarity. You are not the problem. You are the person God keeps choosing. Others need a second chance with faith. Maybe you drifted. Maybe prayers felt empty. Maybe silence made you cynical. Faith isn't fragile. It can handle your questions. Doubt doesn't scare God. Indifference does. If you're still asking, still aching, still hoping, faith is already breathing. There's a reason second chances are rarely loud. Loud things demand attention. Quiet things invite commitment. A second chance will ask you to show up tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, especially when the feeling fades. Feelings inspire beginnings. Discipline builds futures. So what does accepting a second chance look like this Christmas? It looks like choosing presence over perfection at the dinner table. It looks like turning off the phone and turning toward the people in front of you. It looks like giving generously, not to impress, but to participate in someone else's relief. It looks like rest without guilt and effort without fear. Looks like deciding that the story isn't over just because a chapter hurt. There's an old truth that survives every generation. The measure of a life is not how often it falls, but how honestly it gets back up. Second chances don't erase the fall, they redeem the rise. If you're listening to this and thinking, I've had too many chances already, hear this: mercy does not have a quota. Love does not run out because you're slow to learn. Growth is not linear, it's faithful. Christmas is proof of that faithfulness. So take the second chance, not with grand promises you can't keep, but with small commitments you can. One conversation, one habit, one prayer that sounds more like a sigh than a speech. Start there, because this Christmas, God is not asking you to be perfect. He's offering you the courage to begin again, and that has always been more than enough. As this Christmas arrives, quietly, steadily, without asking your permission, let it find you open. Not fearless, not flawless, just open. Open to the idea that your story is still being written. Open to the possibility that what felt like an ending was only a pause. Open to the truth that grace does not knock once and walk away. When the lights dim, when the music fades, when life returns to its ordinary rhythm, carry this with you. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified by what didn't work out. This Christmas is not closing a door on you. It is holding one open. Step through it. Take the second chance with both hands. Speak the words you've been avoiding. Release the weight you were never meant to carry forever. Begin again, not because everything is suddenly easy, but because hope is stronger than habit and love is stronger than fear. Let this be the Christmas you remember, not for what you received, but for who you chose to become. And when tomorrow comes and the next day, walk forward knowing this with certainty: God has not given up on you. The story continues, and the best chapters are still ahead.